Hello dear students, welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry. We are continuing with our topic of hydrogen peroxide and this is part 3 in the series of videos in which we shall try and cover as many properties as possible of hydrogen peroxide. So get your pen and paper ready so that you can remember, practice, as well as understand how to write these properties easily. We did end our last lesson at how do we store the hydrogen peroxide that we have manufactured, and we had mentioned that because it decomposes in the presence of light and its decomposition is catalyzed by a number of substances. You see, there are so many things, so many reasons which can catalyze the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide to water and oxygen, that we need to be very, very careful as to how we store it. So what do? How do we store? We add inhibitors or retarders to a sample of hydrogen peroxide in order to prevent its decomposition. So what are those inhibitors or retarders? Acetonilide, glycerol, urea. Yes, in the previous video I had asked you a question. Would you like to find out more inhibitors or retarders for this type of a reaction? Also, we store hydrogen peroxide in wax-lined glass or plastic bottles in conditions where there is no light. Why wax-lined? Because just now, if you notice, we mentioned that rough surfaces as well as alkalis can trigger the breakdown of hydrogen peroxide. So let's carry on forward with this. And we are going to talk about the chemical properties of hydrogen peroxide today. Now, the first property, that is decomposition, we have already spoken about just now, right? So we've already covered. I hope if you want to write, you can jot down some points for the behavior of hydrogen peroxide to decompose under a set of different conditions, and we bring about this decomposition in the laboratory using manganese 4 oxide as a catalyst, right? And this breaks down to give you water and oxygen, correct? Let's now go on to next, acidic properties, oxidizing nature, reducing nature, and bleaching action. Now, if you see, these properties and oxidizing and reducing nature otherwise appear very difficult to remember as well as write. I'm going to tell you an easy trick to write all of these reactions without any help at all. So again, I repeat, please get your pen and paper ready. The second property that we've got is the acidic nature of hydrogen peroxide. It's a weakly acidic substance. Breaks down, if you notice, it's got 2 hydrogen ions which are available. So it can either break down in steps, or ultimately we write as this giving us 2 hydrogen ions and a peroxide ion. So what we've got, if it's an acidic substance, what are the general properties of an acid? An acid reacts with a base to form salt and water only, and this is what we call as neutralization. Acids react with carbonates and bicarbonates to give salt, water, and brisk effervescence due to the liberation of carbon dioxide. These are the characteristics of an acid. So would you like to complete these reactions here? Tried completing it? Yes, so we will have sodium peroxide and water. So that's the salt and the water that we will get over here. Similarly, in the second reaction, salt, water, and carbon dioxide, right? Please don't forget to balance these equations. Balancing is very, very important. Without balancing, the equation does not hold the correct meaning that it is supposed to convey. We go on next to the oxidizing nature of hydrogen peroxide. Now, interestingly, hydrogen peroxide shows oxidizing nature in 3 different media. It shows oxidizing nature in neutral medium, acidic medium, and basic medium. Some of the examples of oxidizing nature of hydrogen peroxide in neutral medium. So sulfide to sulfate, sulfide to sulfate. See, understand, S2 negative is sulfide, IDE. SO3 2 negative is sulfite, PHITE. SO4 2 negative is sulfate, SULPHATE. Each one of these has a valency of 2. You see the oxidation number over here, but their names are different, so you have to be very, very careful. Same way for acidic medium, we are going to cover 4 reactions over here. Basic medium, we are going to cover 3 reactions. Hydrogen peroxide, interestingly, also has reducing nature. So how to go about writing these reactions? Let's go ahead and take it up one at a time. So first of all, we are talking about the oxidizing nature of hydrogen peroxide in neutral medium. If you want, you can make a chart of these. You can copy this down. It will come in very, very handy for your reference when you are preparing for your examinations and the time is very short and you don't want to be spending your valuable time going through the thick textbooks that we have. Have you written it down? Right? So we focused first on the neutral and acidic medium, and then acidic medium and basic medium. If you've made a note of this, let's go ahead writing the reactions. So the first one we've got over here, oxidizing action in neutral medium. What's the first reaction we have written over here? Sulfide to sulfate. Now one way is that I will give you PbS plus H2O2 gives you PbSO4 plus bright water. Now remembering this reaction, right? How do we know it's sulfate? Would you like to learn an easy trick in order to write this reaction? Not just this reaction, any reaction under the heading of hydrogen peroxide. Yes, so let's go ahead. Now hydrogen peroxide, we are talking about its oxidizing action. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the partial equation method. So I'm going to split this big equation into smaller equations and then add them up. So just like in a lengthy topic, what you do is you divide your lesson into smaller subheadings which are easier to understand and revise. So the same thing we are doing over here. So first step involves the breakdown of hydrogen peroxide to give us water and nascent oxygen. That's basically atomic oxygen generated during the course of the reaction. Next, I have to oxidize lead sulfite. So oxygen, nascent oxygen. This is lead sulfide, SULPHIDE, right? This gets oxidized to PbSO4. Now, let's do the third step. First of all, balance both these equations. Now, if you notice, first equation is balanced. Yes. See the second equation, is it balanced? No. So what do we have to do? We have to put 4 over here because there are 4 oxygen on the right hand side. Now the second equation says that I need 4 nascent oxygen. But in the present scenario, the first equation is giving me only 1 nascent oxygen. So how do I get 4? If there are 4 hydrogen peroxide molecules dissociating, okay, if that is 4, that means this will also be 4 and this will also be 4, right? Okay, so now that we've balanced, now here, if you see 4 nascent oxygen are being formed and 4 nascent oxygen are being used up. So what is being generated is being used up. No profit, no loss. Simple, right? Now what is left for us? Anything else that is being generated and used up? No. Let's add up the 2 reactions now. So on the reactant side, I have got lead sulfide plus 4 hydrogen peroxide giving me PbSO4 plus 4 water. Right? Easy? Easy to remember? Check over here. Try balancing this equation, the first one, and tally your answer. Or you can also check whether this equation is completely balanced or not, just to be doubly sure. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8 over here. 4 oxygen plus 4 oxygen makes it 8. 1 lead, 1 lead, 1 sulfur, 1 sulfur. Balanced. Easy. Now you know how to write this equation. Would you like to try the other equations? Go ahead. Again, the first step of your reaction is hydrogen peroxide breaking down to give you water and nascent oxygen. So let's do that. H2O2 breaking down to give us water and nascent oxygen. That's my first step. Now the second equation that I want to write it is sulfides to sulfates. Right? This is what we have to write. Okay, let's make space for our equation. So we've got Na2SO3. Correct? That's one of the sulfides we can take. Na2SO3 plus nascent oxygen. Oh, you've already completed? That's very good. Na2SO4. Next step is to balance the 2 equations. Balanced? Yes. Balanced? Yes. Fourth step, check. 1 nascent oxygen required here, 1 nascent oxygen is being formed. Correct. No profit, no loss. Go on. Add the 2 equations. What do you get? Na2SO3 plus H2O2 gives you Na2SO4 plus H2O. Easy. Okay, try one more. Try the conversion of a nitrite to a nitrate. Try writing the reaction yourself. So you can take the example of, let's say, KNO2 being converted to KNO3. Go ahead. So that means we are adding a nascent oxygen. What was our first equation? H2O2 breaking down to give you water and nascent oxygen. Balance the equations. First equation balanced? Yes. Second equation balanced? Yes. No profit, no loss. No profit, no loss. Add up the 2 equations. Did you get the final equation? Super. Well done. Now, if you have to convert these into the ionic equations, why don't you give that a try? If you're not confident, then there are separate videos how to write ionic equations from molecular equations. I have loaded it onto the channel. You can have a look at that. Let's suppose you have to write the ionic equation for this reaction. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint over here. Break it down. Pb 2 positive, S 2 negative, 4H2O2. Pb 2 positive, SO4 2 negative, plus 4H2O. Cancel out the common ions and the equal ions. What you are left with is the final ionic equation. Isn't that simple? So you've learned the molecular as well as the ionic equation. Let's continue with writing the equations for the oxidizing action of hydrogen peroxide in the neutral medium. Now the next two conversions in this series is the conversion of iodide to iodine, and the second one you have to write the equation is for the conversion of hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. Pause the video now. Try writing the equations for the two reactions by the partial equation method. So in each one of them, your first equation remains the same. Hydrogen peroxide breaks down to water and nascent oxygen. This equation is anyway balanced. Hydrogen sulfide plus nascent oxygen, what will we get? Correct, water and sulfur. So first equation balanced? Yes. Second equation balanced? Yes. Third step, no profit, no loss. Number of nascent oxygen being generated is the same as the number of nascent oxygen being used up. And then what is the final process? Yes, you add up the two equations. Now when you add up the two equations, you see carefully. On the left hand side, on the reactant side, we've got hydrogen peroxide and H2S. Correct? Now on the right hand side, if you see on the product side, you've got water and water. So how many molecules of water have you got? Simple. We've got 2 molecules of water and the yellow particles of sulfur will be deposited in the vessel. Go ahead. Last one. Let's write the reaction of iodide, conversion of iodide to iodine. Again, the same process. First reaction, H2O2 breaks down to give you water and nascent oxygen. If you've been able to write these equations on your own, you please proceed ahead with the video. Yes, this is for the benefit of those who have any doubts. So this gets converted into KOH and iodine. So first step, balance this equation. Second step, balance this equation. Check whether it is balanced or not. We've got 1 iodine over here, 2 iodine on the right hand side. So that means iodine is not balanced. Let's try this. Now 2 potassium here, only 1 potassium here. We've got 2 hydrogen. Yes, we've got 2 hydrogen. We've got 2 oxygen. Yes, we've got 2 oxygen. But what about the number of nascent oxygen? Are they same in the 2 equations? Yes. No profit, no loss. Whatever is being produced is being used up. That's the main target of the partial equation method. Your nascent oxygen should be used up. Now, add up the 2 equations again. So you will have 2Ki plus H2O2. Look at this. You had water being generated here and water is being used up in the second equation and it's equal number. So we can nullify it. So you have to be careful when adding the 2 equations. Then we go on to, this gives us 2KOH plus I2. Right? Interesting way to learn. Now, I'll give you a target over here. Why don't you write the last equation as an ionic equation. I taught you how to do it, right? Now go ahead, try it. So 2K positive plus 2I negative plus H2O2. Pause the video, try this equation yourself. I've done the left side of the reaction, the reactant side of the equation for you. Try. I'm waiting for you to try. It's very easy to copy it from what you are watching, but it will build your confidence to try it yourself as well. What will you get then? 2K positive plus 2OH negative plus iodine. And what do? Cancel out the equal ions on both sides. So we are left with 2I negative plus H2O2 gives you 2OH negative plus iodine. So this is helpful for also those students who, according to their curriculum, have to write the ionic equation. Isn't it easy? Rather than sitting and memorizing all these equations, if you write them even once, it's so easy, isn't it? So ready to move on to the next one, the oxidizing nature of hydrogen peroxide in acidic medium. Now again, see, the first reaction will remain the same. Hydrogen peroxide breaking down to give you water and nascent oxygen. Now, because this reaction is taking place in the acidic medium, this is where the difference will come up. Now, for example, we are talking about the conversion of ferrous salts or ferrous compounds to ferric salts or ferric compounds. That means iron gets oxidized from the +2 state to the +3 state. How are we going to write this reaction? So first reaction anyway remains the same. I'll give you a hint for the second reaction, and then you try writing the complete equations by adding the partial equation. So let's suppose I've got ferrous sulfate. You can take ferrous chloride as well over here. Plus, now we are talking about the reaction taking place in the acidic medium. So we've got an acid over here. Because it's an oxidation reaction, the nascent oxygen generated in the first step will be used up in the second step. What are we getting in the entire process? We are converting it into a ferric salt, Fe2SO4 whole thrice. What will be the side product? Correct, water. What is the next step you have to do? Correct, you have to balance the second equation. So go ahead, balance the second equation. And then no profit, no loss. Balance the number of nascent oxygen. And of course, the last step, just add up the two equations. Easy. So did you balance the two equations? Yes, we will get 2FeSO4 over here. Iron balanced, yes. 2 + 1, 3 sulfate, and then of course we have water. The first equation is already balanced. Now, is the number of nascent oxygen same in both the equations? Yes, it is. No profit, no loss, right? Then we are going to add up the two equations. Now, would you like to write the final equation yourself and then tally with what I'm going to write? See carefully when you're writing. So let's add up the reactant side of the equation. Anyway, nascent oxygen is taken away. So we have 2FeSO4 plus H2SO4 plus hydrogen peroxide giving you. Now see the, yes, you have to see the product side. So we've got over here Again, write the complete equation. Fe2SO4 whole thrice plus water. So how many molecules of water? Correct, it's 2 molecules of water. Would you like to try and write the ionic equation for this reaction? Give it a try. Build your confidence in the topic by writing it. You learn by writing it. You learn by doing it yourself. Your confidence builds only when you write it yourself. Now here I have written the 2 steps of the second equation. The ferrocyanide to ferricyanide. Ferrocyanide FeCN6 valency 4. FeCN6 is also ferricyanide. The valency or the oxidation state is actually 3 over here. So you see the symbol is the same for both of them. It is the oxidation state of iron which is different in the 2 ions. Now that I have given you the equations, the partial equations, write down the final equation for this reaction yourself. Try it yourself in order to build confidence in the topic. Go ahead. Should I give you the third equation as well? Okay. Third equation. Now go on to write the hydrogen peroxide breakdown yourself. And again, you see here we had an acid taking part in the reaction. In the third equation that we are going to write, again there is an acidic medium. So you remember we use acidified potassium dichromate to test, yes, a gas like sulfur dioxide. So this will get converted into, go ahead, here in this case it gets converted into K2SO4 plus a blue colored compound is formed, and that's called, yes, chromium pentaoxide, and of course water. Now you've got the 2 partial equations. Balance them, no profit, no loss, add the equation. In your final equation, don't forget to mention the blue coloration of chromium pentaoxide. Right? There's one last one to go. That's the conversion of mercury to mercuric oxide in acidic medium. Why don't you try that equation yourself? It's very, very simple. You can use acidic medium like H2SO4. Right? Go ahead and write the equation. Third set of oxidizing action of hydrogen peroxide, and here we are going to talk about the oxidizing action in basic medium. Again the same thing. Hydrogen peroxide breaking down to give you water and nascent oxygen. If you've noticed, I have been teaching you the oxidizing action of hydrogen peroxide in 3 different colors. So first one was in white, the second one was in yellow, the third one I'm using red, Why? Because when you learn subjects like these where the syllabus is vast, colors help you to remember the reactions better. So probably if you try with different colors, they will help you in easy recall of the topic. So my first reaction remains the same, and then I'm going to convert the manganese MnSO4 salts to MnO2. But in what kind of medium are we talking about? This particular reaction is in the basic medium. So basic medium means I will use a base like NaOH. Of course, our nascent oxygen is there. What will be the side products? Of course, Na2SO4, and how can we forget our dear water? Now again, the same thing, balance the two equations, no profit, no loss, add the two equations, as simple as that. So you see over here, I'm writing the final equation now. So Na2SO4 plus MnO2 plus 2H2O. How did I get 2H2O? There is only one water. Yes, don't forget the water in the first equation. Right, interesting, correct? Chromium salts to chromates. Now, if you notice over here, I have written the two partial equations. No, I have not balanced them. I want you to practice it yourself. Balance the two equations, nullify the nascent oxygen, and write the final equation. So, what do you have to do? Balance the two equations, nullify the nascent oxygen, add the two equations, right? Same way, when you're talking about the conversion of formaldehyde to formic acid, so these are two organic compounds. So what will happen over here? Formic acid gets converted into HCOOH in the presence of alkaline pyrogalol, right? And that's it. You write the partial equation H2O2, water and nascent oxygen. So you've got the two partial equations, add them up, and you have the final equation. Isn't it easy? But we are not yet done with the properties of hydrogen peroxide. If you noticed, we do have reducing nature as well of hydrogen peroxide. So it can behave as an oxidizing agent in front of substances which are ready to take up oxygen. At the same time, it has the capability of accepting oxygen as well. I'll give you a hint over here. So for reducing nature, what we are going to do is, again, my first equation is going to remain the same, H2O plus nascent oxygen. So let's suppose I'll talk about reducing nature of hydrogen peroxide with, let's say, chlorine water. Now, chlorine water, that's moist chlorine, giving us HCl and hypochlorous acid. Have you all done this reaction? Hypochlorous acid we know is unstable. So HCl plus nascent oxygen. Now if you notice, hydrogen peroxide is also losing oxygen. HOCl is also losing oxygen. So what is there? Okay, we birds of the same feather flock together. The two nascent oxygen come together and join to form O2. How many partial equations have I got? 1, 2, 3, and 4. But they are all easy. They help me to understand. Next step, I'm going to balance each one of them. Balanced. This one, balanced. This one, balanced. Balanced. So what's our next step? Add them up. Nullify the nascent oxygen and add them up. 2 nascent oxygen generated, 2 nascent oxygen used up. HOCl generated, HOCl used up. What's my final equation? Chlorine plus, check out water as well. Oh, notice there, we've got water. Water is being used here, water is being generated. So overall, no water. That's so simple. So chlorine plus hydrogen peroxide is how many HCl? 1 and 2. So we have 2 HCl plus oxygen. Interesting, isn't it? No, we are not yet done with the reducing nature. That was just a trailer of the reactions we are going to do. Tune in for video number 4 on the topic to complete the reducing nature of hydrogen peroxide. And don't forget to bring your pen and paper along. See you in the next video. Take care.